Week 25 of the 2024-25 NBA season is over, which means it's time to run it back. We're here, Heat fans. The end of the season, but not yet. This is Run It Back, the NBA Week in Review Heat Edition. I'm Eric Labrador, contributor at thepeachbasket.net covering the Heat. This is the show where we recap the week that was in the NBA and then highlight the marquee matchup for the week to come for the Heat. We start with the only objective overall NBA power rankings anywhere. You could read more about how we get to these rankings and see the entire list at thepeachbasket.net. As for the Heat, they move up to 21st because of their 2-2 week, but stay at 10th in the East. Tyler Herro led the team in scoring at 24 points per game and in field goal attempts at 9.3. Duncan Robinson averaged 3.3 field goals made. Kel'el Ware led the team in total rebounds and offensive rebounds at 3 per game. Bam Adebayo led in defensive rebounding average. Davion Mitchell averaged 7 assists per game. Fantastic. Kyle Larson led the team in steals, and Kyle Anderson averaged 2 blocks per game. So let's do it. Let's get to the week in review. The Heat went 2-2 during the week in play. On Monday, the Heat beat the Sixers. That was expected. It all came down to a Wednesday at Chicago, and the Heat were behind heading into the fourth quarter at 92-84. The Heat couldn't get closer than 5 points. The key moment was, with less than 1 minute, Tyler Herro made a 3-point shot and brought Miami to 114-109. On the ensuing possession, Kobe White was stuck on defense trying to get by Davion Mitchell, and Tyler Herro got a steal. He was on his way down the court for an easy layup, but then he pulled up for a three-pointer. The three-pointer bounces off the rim. Chicago gets the rebound, brings it up the court, back up the court, and Matías Buzelis buries a three-pointer, 117-109 Bulls. Game. Josh Giddey, playing the part of the evil frat president that tortures the Delta Chi Heat, got his second triple-double of the season against the Heat. Giddey does have a fantastic mane of hair and does elicit a frat boy playing frisbee on the lawn vibe. But damn, could he play basketball against the Heat. His second triple-double of the season against Miami. His highest scoring average against any team in the NBA against Miami. What the hell does this guy do that the Heat cannot match up with him no matter what? He's the Terminator version of Kelly Olynyk. Really tall, can shoot the three, can pass, but has that extra added oomph. Then the Heat on Friday enacted their own Festivus of grievances. I could picture Costanza's dad in the middle of the court in New Orleans saying, "Let the Festivus of grievances now begin." They scored 153 points. They scored 43 points in the fourth quarter. Bam scored 23. Herro scored 22. Duncan Robinson scored 21. There were 9 Heat players that scored in double figures. This was venting every single thing that's happened this season. Eric Reed in yesterday's game against the Wizards said it, that it was the 17th loss that the Heat had by 5 points or fewer. There was the Jimmy Butler drama. There was the 10-game losing streak. There was the blown fourth quarter leads and the very embarrassing 3 games where they had 8 or 9 points in the fourth quarter. They needed to severely just take out all of their grievances on the Pelicans, and they did, 153 points. But it seems like when those grievances were over, then they went back. Because on Sunday, they get 41 points from Jaime Jaquez Jr. They're playing pretty much a pickup game with the Wizards, not doing any offensive sets, going up and down the court at will. They were up 118-117 on the Wizards, and there was 4 seconds left. They were going to take out the ball at midcourt, and G League standout Josh Christopher steps on the line. The referee calls an over and back, and the Wizards got the ball. They got a layup as time expired. and the Heat lose 119-118. I'm sorry to say it. It's becoming, on Twitter, there's the "That's So Dolphins" moments. This season has been a lot of that Heat moments. I just couldn't believe it. And Jaime Jaquez he was having his own Festivus. He was driving down the court. He was playing bully ball. The Wizards didn't know what to do with him. He was scoring with jump shots, layups in the post, showing off his speed. It was a game the guy needed and is needed against Chicago, because I don't think anybody else outside of Bam Adebayo can really get fouls and get contact and go to the line like Jaime Jaquez Jr. His physicality is like an X factor to slow that game down. More coming up. Now, the marquee matchup of the week, and the marquee matchup now, instead of it being 3 or 4 games, it's only one. The Heat have to go to Chicago on Wednesday night to play Chicago in the 9 versus 10 play-in tournament first round. Amy Otterberg, the Heat in-game radio analyst, identified that pace is the key for the Heat to counteract against Chicago. Chicago is second in the NBA with a pace of 103.61. The Heat are 27th in pace at 97.9. As I've read on a random website, DarylBlackport.com, coding statistician guy, pace is a funny stat because it doesn't factor in offensive and defensive pace together, just offensive pace. But specifically for Chicago, because they're not world beaters either, they're the 9th seeded team in the league, their pace kills the Heat. The Heat cannot keep up no matter what, and they cannot go into the game thinking that they could keep up with Chicago. They have to severely slow down Chicago. We're talking about Kyle Lowry type crafty little flops to get foul calls and major physicality to slow the game down, because if the Bulls play at the same pace, the Heat will lose. Now, incidentally, as per tankathon.com, the Heat have the 11th pick in the draft, which isn't so bad. Apples to apples. Finally, it leads me into the full court press. Now, usually I do a Google search on the Heat or keywords related to the Heat. But I have some articles, but then some just hot takes. Tyler Herro's answer after the Bulls game. He said, obviously, in hindsight, that I missed the 3-pointer. I should have taken a 2-pointer. No, wait, back up, stop. Okay, that's not the point. You don't get it. You make the 3-pointer, it's 114-112. 114-112. The whole point is not my friend Tyler Herro making big shots. It's about putting multiple offensive possessions together and scoring possessions within a very short length of time. A 3-pointer was not the right choice at that moment. It was an easy 2, get back on defense, get another steal, get another 2, get foul, stop the game, but put it in your control. Now, his answer was just, and then I was feeling my shot, I'm going to believe in it. That's the answer of somebody, a 14-year-old kid playing in a rec league. My man, you're going into your 6th year in the league. You are the leader of the team now. You cannot give that answer anymore. You have to think more in terms of situational basketball. I'm going to say what Coach Spoelstra wanted to say in the press conference, but he did a lot of verbal judo around it. You have to think of situational basketball. That 3-pointer, yeah, it's great, but it's like a single home run when you're down by 5. You need to get on base, dude, and then try and get on base again. Number 2, J.J. Reddick tied Pat Riley's 1981-82 coaching record for most wins by a rookie head coach. Good for J.J. Reddick. Now, Pat Riley didn't have for older people like me, the George Blanda of NBA basketball players and LeBron, that he's still playing like a 28-year-old at 40, and Luka Doncic. And he's no Pat Riley, let's say. JJ Reddick is not. Let's see what they do in the playoffs. Last year, Lakers were good, didn't do any better in the playoffs. Let's see. And then, number one, reading an article that the Cavaliers are suffering from injuries heading into the playoffs, specifically Donovan Mitchell. I feel like Jim Carrey in Dumb and Dumber. So you're saying there's a chance if the Heat can win the game against the Bulls, then and they lose the game against the winner of the Hawks Magic, they go to the 8th seed, they play Cleveland. They matched up pretty well against Cleveland this season. So you're saying there's a chance. That's just the dream in me of wanting to see the Heat continue to play in the playoffs, but I'm fine with the 11th pick in the draft also. That's it. Week 25 of the regular season is over. I will see you in the playoffs when we run it back.